Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear and see me. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this sudoku stream hosted by myself. And today we are trying something a bit different. We have a reverse setting competition, and the instructions on the screen give you an idea of what this is about, but we wanted to try something differently from the setting point of view. So we have three erstwhile competitors on the stream who I will introduce in a moment. And they have been provided with a finished Sudoku grid. And the task is to use the grid to basically reverse engineer a Sudoku puzzle. And we're giving them free rein to use any and all Sudoku constraints or shading or whatever the hell they want, really, to try and get to this finished grid. Of course, whenever anyone asks how you make a Sudoku, I think the joke answer is always you start with a finished grid and take digits away. And so we're actually going to give that a try and see how that goes here today. So I am going to introduce our three, I don't know if I should say willing victims or willing volunteers or competitors, but we shall see. So we have got, on the left we have Clover, in the middle we have Niverio, and on the right we have rockratzero. So if we'll start with Clover, if you want to say hello.
Hello, I'm Clover, current speed setting world champion, and I just had emergency dental surgery last night, so we're gonna find out how good I am at speed setting when I'm on the real good drugs. Hype in the chat.
Thanks, Clover. We have Niverio.
Hello.
Um,
I'm a novice setter when it comes to speed setting. I am right now in a round-based speed setting competition myself, and out of the 3 rounds, I already submitted 2 broken puzzles. So yeah, great start. And I don't intend to make it 3 broken puzzles this time around.
well, I mean, at least this time you actually have a finished grid, right? So, and I should also add that Niverio just told us that he is entering the qualifications for the Turkish Sudoku solving team, the national Sudoku solving team, tomorrow. So he's actually taking valuable time out from his practice to be here today. So thanks for that. And then last but certainly not least, on the right we have rockratzero.
Hello, hello. I would be the world Sudoku setting speed setting champion if Clover didn't exist, I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I was runner-up.
Sounds like sounds like there's some opportunity for trash talking and throwdowns here, which I highly encourage.
I think this should be fun because it's going to be very different than what we usually do, so we'll see.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to transition over to the puzzle grid just to show everyone. And so this is the finished puzzle grid that Clover, Niverio, and Rockrat I sent them a link with this finished grid in approximately 5 minutes ago for them to have a look at. So before I continue to explain a bit more, I'm going to give the three of them the go-ahead to start setting, as you wish. So have at it, and good luck. So just to explain for the audience, this is a finished Sudoku grid, but this is not a random Sudoku grid. What I actually did is I took the Sudoku grid from an existing puzzle, actually one of my own puzzles, and I removed all the clues from it. Part of the reason I thought that would be interesting is because at least there is a chance for some sort of discernible patterns in there based on the clues that were in there originally. But when all this is done and we have something resembling a puzzle or perhaps a broken puzzle in Niverio's case, it would be interesting to see, to then reveal what the finished grid was. But yeah, so as I mentioned, there is free reign for the competitors to use any and all clues they wish. Inside clues, outside clues, they can also use given digits as well. Yeah, I mean, Marissa, that would be, I would be very impressed if they were able to figure out which puzzle this was. I mean, I have over 100 now to choose from on Logic Masters Germany, so... but yes, just try every Tallcat puzzle. Yeah, actually, that would probably be enough of a stream in and of itself. But as we progress through the competition, I'm going to basically dip in and out of each room just so we can see a bit more closely what's going on with each setter. Given digits, isn't that too easy? Well, I mean, this is yeah, I mean, this is something of an experiment, and it could either succeed brilliantly or it could either fail spectacularly. Or maybe, you know, we have 3 competitors, so maybe both. But anyway, just to give them a bit of time while they're working, I just wanted to talk a little bit about SudokuCon. This is a SudokuCon stream, and SudokuCon is happening in, goodness, less than 9 months now. I think it's been almost a year or so since the idea was first raised, and I know that certainly Clover and Glipperl and a lot of others have been working very hard to make this happen. And so I, for one, am very looking forward to it. It's going to be in Boston, Massachusetts. I believe the 4th to 6th of April next year. I certainly am intending to be going. And I hope to see some of you there. Some guy, what's their time limit? I kind of, in coming up with this idea, I didn't want per se to give a time limit just because, you know, this is a very different way of thinking of a Sudoku. And I'm going to be very intrigued to see the different approaches that are taken in setting the puzzle this way. I think we have a good mix of setters. Like Clover certainly has cut her teeth in setting very elegant gas puzzles, but also even outside of the gas, Clover has set some very, very nicely well put together puzzles that aren't always monstrously difficult, as well as a couple of her fair share of difficult ones. Niverio can kind of run the gamut. I mean, I know he set a fair mix of Sudoku, but also non-Sudoku, and also hybrid Sudoku, and also cave and Japanese sum, and goodness knows what else. So I'm going to be curious to see what path he's going to take here. Rockrat, I must confess, I have not solved too many Rockrat puzzles, so he is something of a wild card for me. And I think after this, having said that now, I'm probably going to be spending some time solving some Rockrat videos. So let's transition over, have a look to see how everyone's going so far. Oh, so Clover, I can see, has some... Oh, I was going to say some crop keying, but these are black and white dots in the center of the cell. That's interesting. Niverio looks like he's going for some kind of loop here. And Rockrat has got some killer cages going on in the bottom. That's interesting. Oh, I like the pattern here. Mister says Clover's nearly done. So yeah, okay. So I'm going to start with Rockrat, I think, and jump in to see. Hey Rockrat, so tell me what you're thinking. These look like just standard killer cages here, or?
Yeah, I've got some standard cages. I just noticed in the grid this interaction here with these two corners. would at least get me something to start pretty easily.
Do you
Fix a
aim
digit.
do you aim for that in your puzzles a lot? Sort of.
Most of the time, what I'd like to do is build up a lot of pressure where there's, you know, two, three, four um, candidates, and then something breaks and you get sort of a ripple back through the puzzle. Um, so, you know, this, I might not usually have a digit immediately available, but I don't know. This is not immediately available. You've got to see these two things and how they interact so you can get that digit. But
Yeah, and I do
this,
like the rotational symmetry as well. I'm a sucker for
yeah,
symmetry.
I try to keep symmetry or some kind of, or I'm like making a picture or something, drawing some art or something. But I think here I'm going to try to do a symmetrical kind of thing in this grid.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let us go over to Niverio, see what he's doing. And I think I'm just going to bump Niverio's mic a little. So, Niverio, you look like you're doing something quite complicated here.
Mm,
Is this a
May look
loop
complicated,
puzzle?
but yeah, this is. I'm actually trying to set my first ever roller coaster puzzle with this.
Oh, wow.
So, for people who do not know what a roller coaster is, basically, the clues outside, like you throw a loop in the grid, and the clues outside give the length of the sum of the digits on the horizontal segments of the loop in the rows and the vertical segments of the loop in the columns.
That's very ambitious. I'm very impressed. I've
Yeah, I also
set,
try to make it decent instead of just yielding digits. So
yeah, yeah. That's okay. I just need to nudge your microphone up a little here in the very end. Let's see. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. I've set one roller coaster myself. I actually set that after I believe I had solved K&T's roller coaster chaos construction, and yeah, I'm going to try and nudge Niverio up a little, but yeah, having solved that, and I did really enjoy K&T's puzzle, but didn't want to do a straight retread myself, so I ended up doing a roller coaster deconstruction in the J. Dyer vein. Actually, at the minute, I haven't set for a while something more complex, and I'm trying to set a roller coaster deconstruction, but this time doing a chaos deconstruction instead of a J. Dyer. And at the minute, I've been struggling, so I'm going to be quite intrigued watching you set this. Do you want to just say something? See if your audio is a little louder for everyone.
hello, test 1 2.
Is this any better? Do I need to nudge a little higher still? I think Niverio is just genuinely quietly spoken.
I can also up my own microphone a bit.
Yes, if you could maybe nudge your microphone a bit. Let's see if that does it.
Okay, I did so.
Okay, I think that's looking better at my end. Hopefully that will do it. Roller coaster chaos construction. A little better, but could be higher. I think Meme is just deaf. Okay, hopefully that will do it. Okay, let us move over. Let's leave Niverio alone for a little and see what is going on over with Clover.
Hello.
Hi, Clover. So,
So
yeah, tell us what's going
yeah,
on here.
I tried something a little too ambitious for about a minute and a half, which is something that I've been working on kind of from a nerd snipe theory technical perspective. I've been working a lot with the quad sums constraint, If I go into that now, though, I'm genuinely not going to get a puzzle finished. So I'll tell you what I actually switched to, which is I'm doing I'm denoting how many of each color of Kropke you would get, or each color of Kropka, I think, in each row or column. And I'm going to try to only use some of these as clues, and also probably some given digits.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Kropki is Polish, so I'm afraid I'm a bit lax on my Polish, so I don't know if that's
Same.
yeah, the plural or the singular, which is terrible because I had a number of Polish colleagues in the past. They would be shaking their head in shame right now. But okay, so if I'm understanding, like what you're writing above the columns is like if you were, say, to do a negative constraint kind of thing, these would be all the
Just the number of dots you would have of each color, with 1-2 pair counting as both, which I think might end up being what I'm able to leverage for the break-in. Hopefully,
okay,
fingers
nice.
crossed.
All right,
But
great.
it just seemed like it had kind of a nice pattern where you have at least one column, or at least one row that has nothing, and then at least one column that's like pretty heavily filled, and a couple of columns that have, multiple pairs that would get a black Kropke but not a white.
Nice.
So I was hoping that this will reveal something, but I also am struggling to. I'm trying to be very, very careful, just because I am on meds. I'm trying to be very careful with my counting and identifying pairs, because I don't want to make a mistake that gets carried through while I'm
Okay,
setting.
fair enough. Okay, well then I will let you focus
Give me a
on your
shout if I
setting.
seem to be missing any of them.
Oh goodness, I haven't even got the grid in front of me. But okay, I'm actually going
Fair
to pull
enough.
back to the grid and let you guys set some. Okay, I'm seeing Niverio still. Oh yeah, so apparently it is 1 Kropka, 2 Kropki. It's something that sounds right. I'm just not sure if I believe it. Let me go to. Oh, okay. Let's see. So, all right. So I'm going to transition back to the 3-way here. And I am just going to see if I can adjust Niverio's audio a bit. Let's see. So, as you can see, I mean, this is already very intriguing to me. I mean, we have 3 very different approaches to this puzzle. And it's also interesting. I mean, for me, so in coming up with this idea, I was really unsure myself how I would even go about setting a puzzle. My brain doesn't tend to work very easily in identifying patterns. This is why when I solve puzzles, I tend not to pencil mark too heavily. I guess I'm somewhat like I know Simon says this sometimes when he's solving on CTC, that when things get too heavy and too pencil mark heavy, I find it very hard to distinguish patterns. This is also why when it comes to things like looking in classic Sudokus, if you're pencil marking and looking for sort of Y-wings or things like that, I've often struggle with that as well. Isaiah, how long do these crazies have to set a puzzle? I guess as long as I feel compelled to subject them to it. But I don't know. I'm open to as long as they wish, and oh, okay, hang on. I will transition to the grid so Meme can help Clover there. All right, the grid is on the stream, so Meme Rista can do some quick counting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I would even approach this myself. I think I think I will probably take something along the lines of more Clover's approach or Rockrat's approach. Maybe pick a constraint that's a little has some degree of flexibility in, but that you can still do good stuff with. So maybe X's, V's. I think X's and V's might be hard though, because there might not be actually that many that I can see in the grid. Crop key, I think, are good. Both flavors. I think things like Renban, might be tricky, just because unless you actually had been given a grid that was a Renban. Yeah, no, he can't see a puzzle. It's one or the other. Yes, I certainly don't think I would jump right into Niverio's approach, but I probably am not surprised that he has done this, because I think he has one or two screws loose somewhere. But yeah, also I think I do think Rockrat's approach with killer cages. I mean that you're not so determined. I guess the patterns are not so determinative. Like trying to do Renban in a grid that's already given would be very difficult, because you might not have much to play with. Certainly not enough to make logical deductions. But at least a killer cage, there's flexibility in the totals. On that, I'm actually going to switch over to Rockrat, because I can see he's got a few more cages in the grid. Hey Rockrat, looks like you're making some nice progress.
It might look like that. I'm not sure about that. I'm just staring at the grid open in the window. I'm just trying to stare at some sort of like, if there's something, oops, is there like something up here that I can also put down here that's going to put a little bit more pressure on this kind of a deal? I've got this, I'm looking a lot at this column.
Mm.
Can't have ones and twos in these spots. So trying to think about maybe force sizing those a little bit is what my brain is trying to do right now. But
Okay.
they're all looked. But can I force something into here? And I'm looking for here and like here, and can I put something symmetrical that's going to inform something around here?
Do you think?
I put this page in because I saw it as
Yeah.
something also easy, but that took literally one digit out of this 20 page.
Right. Do you? I mean, the minute your cages are all vertical, horizontal, sort of restricted to a box, do you think down the line that might provide you some patterns that might be difficult to resolve?
Well, perhaps, but I have this constraint button over here, and I can do anything I want.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Yeah, of course, you're not wed to killer.
I'm not gonna. I haven't decided what second constraint. I'm not gonna stay just with killer cages.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. All right, let us hop over to the madman himself. Because I can see you've got quite a pattern going now. So I think, typically, I guess, Niverio, when it comes to setting a puzzle, you would try and find a logical entry point. I mean, of course, you know, when you're setting a puzzle, you usually start with some sort of idea of piece of logic. How are you? Are you trying for a similar thing here? I guess with, say, column 1 and row 1 as your entry into the puzzle.
Yeah, like what I noticed in the finished grid is like the digits in here and here were pretty high. So I thought that okay, like the one thing about roller coaster is no matter how small or large a clue is, like it has to take at least 2 cells. So like the moment you can force some of them to be more than 2 cells, in which case when these digits are too large, you can do that. So like that allows you to get lots of base loop, and then after that I can I can look at some of the interesting properties where I can force a loop further, where I can, oh, like if this is a single digit, then it's actually pretty hard to get it through because there's a very high digit here. Or like making this a double digit might be pretty hard because this digit is very low, etc. And that's what I'm trying to force right now. I got some opening already, which is pretty nice. But I'm also trying to keep it a bit intriguing to solve as well. Like right now, I could like that's why I have lots of question marks in the grid because I don't want to give all of these values super early on
Yeah,
because I don't want the puzzle to be solved in like 5 minutes. And
yeah. I mean, I remember when I did the roller coaster, I think I had asked KNT for advice on it, and he basically said, yeah, just have a lot of flexibility, make sure put plenty of question marks in, and you can always adjust them as you need. I think it's something that Turganis had said. I want to say to Zeta that he said never underestimate the power of just not even giving a cage total, or just being like greater than this or less than this, and having that flexibility. I haven't done that so much for Killer Sudoku myself, but certainly for the roller coaster I did, that helped.
yep, sounds
Okay. I'm being told that I think I accidentally muted Rockrat, so I'm just going to transition back to Rockrat to make sure that he's alive. Okay, hopefully everyone is going to be able to hear Rockrat now. I think I accidentally muted you. Yes.
Hello?
Yep, it's registering.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, the conversation we just had, they were just hearing one side of it, but it's fine. We won't hold it again. Okay, it's better. He's alive.
No worries.
Okay, and I can see Clover has got some givens. So, you're playing around the highlighted greens are givens, Clover?
Yeah, the highlighted greens are givens. We'll see how many of them end up surviving. But I'm onto something as far as a break-in, so things are going okay.
Okay, good. All right, let us hop back to the three-way. Hey, Afraid Not. This is a reverse setting competition, as you see, and we have Clover, Niverio, and rockratzero all doing their best with a finish grid that was provided to them. Let me hop to the puzzle grid. Just to explain, this was the finish grid that was given. This is a finish grid of one of my puzzles that I had all the clues removed from. So I'm going to be very interested, knowing which puzzle this is. I'm going to be very interested to see how it turns out. So yeah, I think they've been going for, it looks like about 25 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, Playmaker, I did think about picking a random puzzle from someone else on Logic Masters, and I was like, you know what, to hell with it, this is my idea, so I'm going to pick one of my puzzles. But actually I will add that it was when this idea was being passed around and talked about for SudokuCon stream, it was actually James Sinclair who suggested using a completed grid of an existing puzzle, because he yeah, I have high confidence actually that all three of them are probably going to make a better puzzle than my one. But yeah, it was James Sinclair who suggested a finished grid, because at least then there were some patterns that the setters might be able to latch onto and grab a hold of. So let us transition over to see what's going on. Oh yes, hey, speaking of James Sinclair, hello Artisanal Sudoku, who is one of the sponsors of the stream. Thank you for dropping by. Isaiah, we should make, yeah, Tallcat has not done any speed setting competitions, I have to say. And this is something that I kind of have been wanting to do. I want to say it was about maybe 3 or 4 months after I had started setting Sudoku that I became aware of speed setting competitions, and I think it was one that Teganis had won, but I remember talking, I think, with Clover about it in the Discord, and actually went away and challenged myself to set a puzzle in about less than an hour, and actually managed to set, I thought, what was a fairly decent puzzle that I thought was actually pretty easy, and then turned out to be much harder because I had no idea how to set easy puzzles at the time. But yes, I've never actually taken part in a speed setting competition, so if anyone has a speed setting competition going on, please do feel free to invite me to take part. I would like to stretch my muscles in that sense. But I absolutely will not be using anti-night in a speed setting puzzle, I'm afraid, Isaiah. Absolutely not. I'm going to resist with every fiber of my being to do anti-night. I just do not like it. Also, Rockrat, yeah, I think Playmaker is hurt because you're ruining his symmetry. But so I'm just so you all know, I'm on the three-way screen, so everyone should be able to hear. So feel free to chime in if you want to heckle or to banter. Yeah, Rockrat's just looking for relationships. Yeah, so. But yes, going on to the reason for this, we wanted to. So SudokuCon, I know behind the scenes we've talked about what we actually want SudokuCon to be about, and it doesn't. We want it to be about more than just setting or solving, or we want, aside from the social aspect of everyone just getting to hang out and meet each other in real life, hopefully. There is more to Sudoku, I think, than just the setting and the solving. I think workshops on the various, that kind of thing. But this we're trying to come up with different ideas, different variations on a theme that aren't just someone sitting in front of a screen solving a puzzle. So this is hopefully an example of that. Yeah, Playmaker, I think this actually would be quite an interesting way to use fog on this. I also have to confess, fog is not something that I'm a particular fan of myself as well. Although there are definitely some good fog puzzles out there, and again, I think not to plug him too much, James Sinclair does have some very good fog puzzles out there. It's just not something I feel I would be very good at setting. I suppose I need to give it a try sometime. But we will see. But yes, unfortunately, of late, I have not actually had much setting time. Real life has been getting in the way. I should actually plug my own puzzles. I recently put a 6x6 Sudoku pack out on Logic Masters Germany just because basically the time I had for setting, I think 6x6s was about the most I could manage. I'm hoping to get back to some 9x9s, and hopefully watching these three guys setting here will inspire me to do so. But yeah, this is otherwise interesting seeing the different approaches being taken here. Okay, let us flip back over to Rockrat. And so Rockrat, the red lines here, are these entropic, modular? What's the deal?
They're sort of like scattered arrows.
Oh.
So two digits on the line, some to the other one. But it's not ordered. So that's what I was thinking about, and this is taking a lot of time. This is hard to do.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's why I'm glad you're doing it and not me.
Yeah, so I was trying to find these relationships and still not just make it look like a big mess.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So scattered. I guess yeah, scattered arrows in the center. They're not like say a zipper line where it's the outside some to the middle. You're giving
well,
yourself that
like
flexibility.
this one here, like these two, those are like arrows, right?
Yeah.
Because those an 8-9 pair, so that's like a normal arrow that would have the bulbs here.
Hmm.
But this could be, um, in theory, we could look at the grid and see that this is a normal arrow as well. But in theory, this digit plus this digit could equal that digit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. Is that? I don't
that's the
think.
idea.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a puzzle with that constraint.
Yeah,
But
I just made it up. Who knows?
okay. All right. Great.
Trying to think of ways that I can find relationships in this grid that might
Yeah.
interact between the killer cages is what I
Mm.
was thinking. So these sort of transverse the cages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a neat idea. I like that. Who knows? Maybe I'll set a puzzle with them if it works out. Okay, let's go back over to Niverio. Okay, I mean, I see some progress in Niverio. I see some digits. Um,
Yeah, even though I didn't want to, pretty much I just plunked in at 24
okay.
because I didn't really see much way to force the other stuff that I wanted this early on. And I don't
Well,
want to take 3 hours of the stream.
yeah, yeah. We're certainly not going to be going for 3 hours. But but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, do you usually try to, if you were setting a puzzle the normal way, do you usually try to? I asked this to Rockrat earlier. Do you usually try to give something to hang on at the start, or does it depend on the difficulty you're going for?
Like it depends on the puzzle quite a bit. Like whenever I set a puzzle, I also almost always have in my mind like what how hard I want it to be most often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like for this one, I don't like the one thing I'm trying to make it sure is like it's going to be like a 3-star puzzle is basically what I have in mind for this.
Okay.
And that's why I'm like using these question marks to control some of the spacing because otherwise it would probably be doable in like 5 minutes. And I don't like I want this puzzle to be still enjoyable while still catering to this competition's rules.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair enough. I remember. I do remember when I not so long ago I set a puzzle with Japanese sums and it was a deconstruction and by chance it just ended up just doing question marks to try and force a grid because it was a J Dyer deconstruction. The grid actually got forced really really easy. And I thought that was just really neat, but unfortunately then the puzzle, because it was a cipher puzzle as well, the puzzle just ended up becoming something of a math lesson after the fact. But I still thought it was interesting to me that just a couple of single digits or question marks could force so much of the grid. Okay,
Yeah,
and
like
is that an X you have as well?
I don't know, like this X I just placed earlier to tell myself that okay, like the loop doesn't go down there
Oh, okay. Okay, that
because
just
just like
confused me
cognitive
because it's
help.
2 and 8. I was thinking it was a 10. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it turned out to be like that, but I
All right.
actually didn't. No, that was not an
Okay.
X.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, and okay, Clover has got some more given digits in. Um, so hey, Clover. So I see you have a few more tentative givens now. Are you
Hmm.
so the clues at the top? Are you intending these as like the outside clues? So you would have a rule of the outside clues designate the number of crop keys in the row, or
I
is that?
am, and I keep going back and forth on whether I'm going to give all of them or whether I'm going to end up deleting the ones that don't get used in the solve path. I guess it depends on
Mm.
how things play out.
It's a very neat idea. I think one thing that I did appreciate a lot from the gas puzzles and the gas team is how many sort of flavors and spins on existing constraints you guys came up
Yeah,
with.
like usual, this is certainly not my invention. This is just something that, I mean, I can't even begin to recall off the top of my head who deserves attribution for this, but it's something that I absolutely saw in a contest at some point.
Yeah, I'll have to keep this in mind. I think for myself, I don't really solve enough puzzle, or haven't certainly solved enough puzzles lately. I should probably go to, is it Richard Stolk and his
Oh,
series on
absolutely.
LMD?
Sudoku variant series, I
Yeah.
cannot recommend too highly. It's just a masterclass in strange and wonderful variants in
I
Sudoku.
think he's somewhere up to like 400 now, isn't he? I don't know. It's
And
crazy.
he will never wear out. Um,
Awesome.
hopefully.
Yeah.
May he live 1,000 years.
Yes. All right. Okay. I shall leave you to it. Thank you. So, okay. So we're back to all three puzzles at once here. There's always Playmaker says there's already a fancy name for it, and it's called Instructionless. Interesting. Oh, no, he's talking to Juggler. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, I have to confess, I'm hearing everyone in the headset here, and I'm kind of just intrigued. I just kind of want to sit and watch them go at it, but I know that would be very boring for everyone in the stream if I just went silent. Afraid not. Clover's constraint that we were just talking about. So the clues outside the grid reflect the number of black crop key or white crop key pairs within the column or the row, with 1, 2 being ambiguous as to either. And as she was just saying, it does look like she's on the fence, but seeing how it goes of taking ones out that aren't in the solve path. So I hope I explained that appropriately. Niverio is setting his first roller coaster. Certainly picking his moments for setting a puzzle that he's not done before. And although it could have been worse. I guess you could have decided to set like a U-Bahn Sudoku or something like that.
Don't give me ideas.
Oh no, don't. U-Bahn just is one of those. I try and go to a 1-star U-Bahn puzzle to solve it, and then my head explodes. So my brain, I don't think, just likes U-Bahn. And Rockrat has combining killer cages with what he called scattered arrows, so I guess like ambiguous arrows, zipper lines, at least for the 3 lines, where any 2 digits on the line could sum to can sum to any other. I'm glad that Glipperl thinks U-Bahn is terrifying, but if Glipperl thinks U-Bahn is terrifying, then that makes me even more scared. Because, Glipperl does have a reputation for producing terrifying puzzles of his own as well. So, So yeah, I think there's, as I said to everyone at the start, just to recap, there's no real time limit per se here. We're not going to go on too long, just because I'm sure. Firstly, Niverio is 6 hours ahead of us, and I'm sure he would enjoy staying up till 2 a.m. setting a roller coaster. But did you say you would?
Yeah.
But yes, they've been going for about, so it's 3:45. They've been going for about 40 minutes so far. So I think we shall maybe see how things are going in the next half hour or so. My intent is certainly not to test the puzzles on stream, but certainly when everyone's done, I would be happy to have a test for them. And if anyone else on stream, meaning Playmaker specifically, wants to also test as well, then I'm sure that'd be great. Artisanal. So Artisanal Sudoku, James Sinclair, noticed something about the solution. And I think we're far enough into the setting that, yeah, I don't think anyone is going to use it. So, yeah, feel free to mention it. I suspect I know what you're going to say, but yep, that is exactly what I thought you were going to say. So for anyone who knows my puzzles well, that might narrow it down a little. It's also something nice spot indeed. It's not always something that you would first think to look at, I think. Belsita, if you want to help test as well, I would be happy to have you volunteer. But yes, anyone who knows my puzzles, that may give a hint as to which one the finished grid is for here. You pass. But Belsita, I think you're a far better solver than I am, and the way Niverio's puzzle is going. Yeah, it repeats on smaller diagonals. Yeah, I guess that would suggest more of a little killer type thing. Yeah, it's funny. I know. So Belsita actually went on a mission to solve all of my puzzles, and I know after solving about the first 20 or so of them, she decided that she hated arrow sudokus because the first 20 of my puzzles pretty much all had arrow sudoku in. I think now I feel, I don't know, I feel pretty open to using new constraints. The 6x6 pack I just did was a sort of, half of them were existing constraints, half of them were constraints that I'd never set with before. So it was a good way to kind of cut my teeth on them. The one I enjoyed the most was the XY differences that I believe Glum Hippo popularized more recently. But one of the issues I had with that, even with just a 6x6, is that I found it very easy to break because there is a negative constraint on that one. And certainly in a case like this where you're actually trying to work towards a finished grid, I think any kind of negative constraint would be very difficult. I think even anti-knight would be very difficult. Just because I think constraints like anti-knight and such are it's very easy to. I think Niverio is eating dinner, so I've turned his mic off for a little. Oh, it's done, he tells me, so let me turn it back on. Yeah, they want to hear more about the dinner, Niverio. What did you have?
It was pasta, garlic, and chicken, basically.
Okay, very good. Okay. It is also interesting to see the at the minute. So having done Clover at the minute, having done the sort of cataloging of the dots, is now is sort of working almost top down. Niverio has started in the top corner, I guess, with column 1 and row 1, and is branching out. And Rockrat was trying more sort of things in each corner that might be interacting across the grid. What when you say an anti-diagonal puzzle, James, what do you oh, you mean you've been doing the an X, a Sudoku X with this? You have a fourth competitor, I should add, by the way. James is playing along at home with the finished grid.
Oh.
James will surely win.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I don't know. So before we came on stream, there was a bit of trash talking between. Well, Niverio was being a little competitive, shall we say? So I think there was some trash talking, smack talking between Clover and Niverio.
My words are being manipulated.
I don't know. I think I have a recording of it somewhere. Let's see.
My words are still being manipulated.
Okay, let us. So. Yeah, I think so. I think one of the hardest things that I would find for this puzzle, I think James raises a good point, is, seeing patterns is one thing, but then you have to try and then come up with to try and reverse engineer, I guess, a coherent solve path from that is quite something as well. I have no idea how I would even go about it. I think I would probably take an approach closer to what Clover is doing by using given digits. Although then that would probably also depend on the constraint that I chose as well. I think for me, I like roller coaster. I like killer. I think I like arrows. My brain tends to like a sort of a lot of things involving math. I guess. I guess as a scientist, that's what I get for that. I don't know what that says about me. Oh yeah, sure. I can show you the solution grid. Absolutely. I will transition over to that. So yeah, as I mean, it's easy I can easily point out now as of course, I'm moving my mouse on my computer, thinking that everyone on the screen is seeing my mouse move across computer. This shows how much I really don't stream. But as you can see, there is no repeat on either diagonal. And yep, no roping anywhere. So I think Sudoku X, when I first started setting, Sudoku X was one of the first sort of variants I added in. But I haven't set too much with it, maybe a handful of puzzles. Yeah, Playmaker, yeah. James is apparently playing along at home, and it looks like Afraid Not is playing along at home as well. So hey, at this rate, give it a few more, give it a couple more. We're gonna have a puzzle pack here. A Sudoku-con puzzle. Ooh, a Sudoku-con puzzle pack. Maybe we could compile all these and could compile them as a giveaway at the con. I guess Belsita has been scrolling through my back catalogue looking for the puzzles, but please don't reveal just yet which one it is. A bit of a spoiler for the pack. If you've solved one puzzle in the pack, you've solved all of them. Yeah, actually, that's good. We could do it as a puzzle pack, and we could not tell everyone that they're based off the same puzzle, and see if anyone actually notices. That's actually a really good idea. I like that. We should definitely do that. Yeah. Bonus puzzle pack, but no, I think I mean, even beyond that, I think it's I've talked with Codec and Playmaker before about having a competition where maybe every competitor gets the same sort of opening, like the same opening move, and then they set the puzzle from there however they like, and I think that would be interesting. But I do think this is an interesting experiment in and of itself, for just based on the setter's own sensibilities, how you can take what is a finished grid and go backwards from there and see what comes up. I mean, it's probably fair to say it wouldn't necessarily be a true reflection of a setter's style just because they're working towards a predetermined grid, but I think you would certainly get, I mean, just from looking at the three grids that we have here, let me transition over, you can certainly get an idea of what each seller likes. I mean, if you look in Niverio's Logic Masters Germany page, there's a large number of Japanese sum pages, for sure. I know that one because I've solved a few of them. Yeah, Isaiah, I don't want Velsi to reveal just yet which one it is. I am going to put it up at some point. Maybe in another 10-15 minutes or so when the three get a little further along. Okay, I am going to move back to Rockrat. Let's see what's going on here. Hey Rockrat, how's it going?
Well, it's a mess.
It's a mess. That's okay. I mean, as you said yourself, this is very tough, and it really. I'm very glad that I'm not the one doing this. So.
I'm trying to resist doing something. This down here has worked out pretty nicely. But it's not communicating as far as I can see very well up into here, which is sort of what I wanted.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I guess in
these cages, I try to pick symmetrical cages, and these are very middling, and they're not very useful. So.
Yeah, I guess as I guess one of the things of having clues that are sort of somewhat disparate is you want them to try and communicate a little more across the grid. Okay, but it's there's still time, and also as we're free to tinker and finish off. There's no pressure here. This is something of an experiment. So in setting, so you're free. If we wrap up, you're free to tinker after, unless you're not sick of the grid by then. Okay, all right. I shall leave you to it. Niverio, we're back with you.
Hello.
Wow, you've really gone for quite the 26 down the right hand side there.
Yeah, I actually thought of one of the ways I want to make this a bit interesting is now I have a very large loop segment.
Okay.
And now what I'm going to try and do is add another, these will connect. I just haven't forced them, but I know that this will connect, and then I will know, I have these ends right here, and I will add additional segment here to force the loop to go all the way up back again, and I will try to utilize that as the Nitso propagator, so to say. That's why I put this 26 to force the loop all the way down.
So you've not set roller coaster before, but have you set other loop puzzles before?
I set exactly 2 other loop puzzles before, and those were both in the last 2 months.
Oh yes, you did.
One of them is
the Whisper one, right?
The German Whisper, yeah.
Yes.
One of the German Whisper path puzzle, not a loop puzzle, but a path puzzle. And then I set an U-Bahn recently too. But neither of them is helping with this. But what is helping with this is the fact that I have solved quite a lot of roller coasters and Japanese sums, where the logic is kind of similar arithmetically.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not too much of a stretch for you.
Yeah, at the moment at least.
At the moment at least, yeah. Famous crosswords, right?
Later on, I might crash and burn and cry, but
okay.
For the time being, we are holding on.
Okay, I mean, just so long as if you crash and burn and cry, just make sure that we're actually in this scene when it does so. We can't miss that.
Yeah, I will make sure.
Okay, great. All right, and back to Clover. Clover, it looks like it's coming along quite nicely.
I'm making sacrifices. We're gonna get there. I've always been very compelled to actually finish a solvable puzzle at the very least when doing one of these. So I
Okay.
might go back to this and tinker a bit later. We'll see.
Oh well, that's, as I said to Rockrat, there's certainly room for that. But yeah, looking at the three, it looks like you're the one perhaps making the most progress right now. Not that I want to put
That's gratifying.
pressure on the other two. I mean, who am I kidding? Of course, I want pressure.
Oh no, please do put pressure on the other two.
This wouldn't be a Sudoku setting without some drama.
I need all the help I can get right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess for a title you could just call it like Med inspired or something like that. Or
Yeah, fair.
yeah. Well, you know, they say Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was meant to reflect LSD, so you know we have to come up with some equivalent name for dental meds.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm afraid the drugs that they gave me weren't quite that exciting, but God, that would make for an interesting speed setting contest.
Oh God, yeah. All right, I shall leave you to it. Thank you. Where's the option of redeem 200 points for a glass of water for Niv? Yes, that's one thing I didn't do. I guess we could have put the Sudoku-con bits in, but I'm something of a novice at streaming, and so I think that might have been a bit much for me to add that over onto everything. So apologies for that. But if you're here watching the stream and this is your first time to the Sudoku-con stream, please feel free to subscribe. Click the button under the stream and do subscribe. There are other streams lined up in the future, I know, that are on the cards. I guess there was some discussion. I know Glum Hippo had a very successful stream on wordplay. I know there was some discussion about having Glum Hippo come back and talk about puzzles within the context of like music and composition, which is an idea that I thought was fascinating, and I hope we get to have that. I know there was some discussion of maybe a stream about how to monetize puzzles, which I think would also be very fascinating. I believe James Sinclair was going to take the lead on that one. But certainly if you're watching this and you are part of the Sudoku community and you have an idea for a puzzle, for a stream yourself, something outside of the norm, we want people to think outside of the box and not just be them solving a puzzle or setting a puzzle per se, some kind of twist on a speed setting contest or that sort of thing. Then please do reach out to us on the Sudoku-con Discord. Myself and Clover and James were the ones overseeing some of the ideas that were coming in. So if you have something, some idea just as wacky as this, please do feel free to reach out, and we'd be happy to get you on the stream as well. You know, we are a big community. We have a lot of crazy ideas, and you know, you don't have to worry, I think, about having a crazy idea that you think might not work very well on stream. It's better to give it a try and see how it goes, you know, and then at least you can say you've done it. So, Playmaker, sometimes when you ask about how you set hard puzzles rather fast, you just set things very fast and they automatically become hard. Yeah, I mean, I could see that would be a side effect of that. If you're really just trying to throw clues in and see what happens. I could see how that would be the case. Oh, so I'm seeing Clover has like got some way to the finished grid here. No pressure, Niverio, Rockrat, which is very impressive. And I love the, I'm a sucker for symmetry, so I love the symmetrical placement of the givens here in Clover's puzzle. Okay. Yeah, symmetry works absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately for me, when it comes to setting puzzles, I found that like my fealty to symmetry was actually beginning to get in the way of things, and so I deliberately set a couple of puzzles that weren't symmetrical to kind of get my brain out of that. Now the real hard thing, naming the title. I guess you could call it Tallcat Redux or something like that. But outside crop key sudoku. Okay, let's. So Clover looks like she's onto testing. I'm gonna move over back to Niverio. Niverio, it seems you hit something of a sticking point after your big 26 segment here.
I mean, it's just a sticking point because, again, I'm trying to keep things interesting for the solver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one upside of this rule set is that, like, it is. Oh, wait, I just realized something. I already have a freebie here when I put this, but I just didn't put it in. Never mind.
Okay.
This is one part of the problem that it is hard to keep track of what you already have in the grid and what you don't.
Yes. Yeah. I find that a lot. I actually found that a lot more recently with, but it was with a negative constraint, and the negative constraint was giving me more than I realized. But yeah, do you find that is that just the nature of this reverse setting or is it just something you have trouble with in general?
No, like for right now, like because it's a rule set that I haven't worked with before, so like noticing the implications specifically takes a while.
Yes,
To,
that's true.
okay. Okay, but this is good. This is good. Now I'm happy with what I have
Okay,
here
very
now.
good. So progress being made. Let's go over to Rockrat. Rockrat, I'm seeing a few more digits in the grid here.
Yeah, I put these 2 7 cages in here to try to force some things, and that here forces this 7 3 5 triple down here, which fixes this little arrow thing and propagates this down into this box.
Okay.
So I'm seeing how far else that goes.
Nice. I do like the little pattern you have in the central stack with like the little
Yeah, I
X
thought
and
that was nice. It gives absolutely no information yet,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
But hopefully all of this stuff is going to push into here, and I'm hoping that this is where everything ends. That's kind of the idea. But we'll see.
Okay, great. I look forward to that. And Clover, it looks like you're onto testing now.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember how to solve this puzzle that I set. So,
Okay. All right. Wow.
I mean, I've been there before, so we'll get through it together. If
I
anybody
mean,
wants to tell me how to solve this, though, I'd be very grateful.
I mean, if it's any consolation, like last night, I went to the original puzzle that I used for this. I went to try and solve it myself, and I got about halfway through it, and I was like, I have no idea what to do next.
Isn't that always the thing?
Yeah, and I had to go away for about an hour, and then I came back and I was like, oh, of course. So yeah, but all right, great, looking good. Okay, so we're at 4 my time, so we're looking a little over. It's been about an hour and 5 minutes so far for these. Again, I don't want to let them go on too long. But we'll if we get to a point where Clover tests her puzzle and is happy with it, then I'm also happy I should set up a scene where I might then be able to have a go at solving it on stream while Niverio and Rockrat finish. But we shall see. Balsita is back with chocolate. Did you bring enough for everyone, please? And if not, why not? More deep dupes are welcome. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if there are any three in the corner here, but That was
I
probably
wonder why none of us have trees in the corner.
yeah.
Definitely our
You can
choice.
blame me for that. So actually, yes. Let me just go back to the grid and we'll see. Yes, unfortunately. Oh, hang on 1 second. You just realized.
I just realized that I'm a bad solver and I broke this thing, but I'm fixing it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you recognize now, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to later. So that's always the worst. Is when you broke a puzzle. If you break a puzzle, and you're just kind of stuck. I find it hard personally. It can be very hard for me to get sort of unattached to logic that I really like if I've broken a puzzle, and sometimes it's best for me just to scratch it and start over again. But okay, it does look like Clover has managed to figure out how to solve the puzzle at least a little more. Niverio, what is the grey here? Are these just cells
I
that are
was
not
just
on
marking
them?
those. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like that was the point of me putting them there. Okay, now. Okay, this is actually quite nice.
Okay. I see some digits coming along here. And I guess this is the standard roller coaster rules of either all clues or no clues are given in a row column.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that first is.
So yeah, I'm realizing now I should perhaps have arranged to have a conversation partner on the stream while Clover and Niverio and Rockrat are working away, because my instinct here is just to sit and watch them set, because I'm finding it quite fascinating. Let's get back to the three-way. But it has very interesting knowing what the original puzzle is, to see the different style. Imagine all the hard works and then a deadly pattern at the end. I mean, that's what 2-cell thermometers are for, right? You know, or
Hopefully not.
yeah, I guess if it was Zeta, then just a Kropke dot, maybe a you know, or something. But 2-cell thermo for the win, or an inequality. Yeah, I mean, if 2 to 10 were around, it would be an inequality, for sure. Oh, great minds think alike. Yep, inequality for the win. We need to have it. We should have a poll on stream. Yeah, meme it is. It's I give you props for being able to do this, and to do it for the 2 caterpillar streams as well. That would be quite something. But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I Marissa, I should also say I have the disadvantage of not having cats around to keep me occupied on stream. But let's see.
The problem was I have this cage value wrong.
Oh, okay. That was the problem. Oh, from the grid,
Yeah.
you mean? Oh dear.
From the grid, yeah, because I
Okay.
can't do math. But that's okay.
Well, I mean, you know, codec math became a phrase for a reason. We know that codec often doesn't do math, but I forget what I was solving a puzzle the other day, and I had put in. I want to say it was like a 7 cage, and I put in 125, and it took me about a third of the way through the solve of the puzzle when I was like, "Why is this puzzle breaking?" and then it was that 8 is 1 2 is not 1 2, 7 is not 1 2 5. Happens to all of us. I mean, I guess the other tricky thing about this kind of a set is that it's not like you can. I guess it's a little. It doesn't really lend itself to using like a solver as well. That would be. So if using a Sudoku solver as just for checking if it's broken or whatnot is something that's part of the course, you can't really do that here. But yeah, it does look like Clover's test is humming along here. But yeah, so no pressure on you guys. But yeah, when I guess when
pressure on our hands.
I guess when Clover, if Clover's finished her test and she's happy with it, then I'll do something of a reveal as to what the original puzzle was. But yeah, this is otherwise just fascinating watching from my point of view. Let us go. Okay, I'm gonna jump back in just to. So Clover, it does look like you're homing in on the finish here.
Yeah, and I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to revisit it just to delete the clues that don't end up getting used in the solve path, but I think I'd like to give you the opportunity to solve it.
Okay.
I think you might find it entertaining, so I'll go ahead and once I've verified that this does in fact solve and it's unique, which I'm getting very close to being able to do, I will go ahead and hand it over to you. I look forward to it.
Okay, and so I should probably set up a scene that I can link my browser to, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, there we go. It certainly looks like it solves.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you want to send me a link to it, I'm gonna work on this solving scene just quickly in OBS.
I have put it in the chat.
And browser. Let's see if I can get. Copy. I'm just going to put that in the Discord, just so I can grab it from the Discord, because I have the Twitch open on my other stream here, other computer here. And me creating a scene in real time. Let us let me add image. So how did you find that overall as a setting experience, Clover?
I found that very interesting, actually. The idea of setting a puzzle by working backwards from a solved grid isn't something that's completely alien to me. It's something that I've done in the past when I kind of set myself a challenge to set a particular variant that has just kind of profoundly restricted grids for gas or something similar. The one where I remember doing it was I set a Sudoku with the global constraint that all sets of 3 adjacent digits in a region had to sum to a multiple of 3.
Oh, geez.
So kind of this very restricted modularity thing, and I struggled to come up with a grid, and when I finally ended up coming up with one, I had deformed my original break-in to the point where I mean, it was no longer really possible to work into it. I kind of had to go back to that solved grid and work backwards out of it. So it's not something that I've never done before. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's something that I don't think is a reliable way to make a good puzzle usually. But it was interesting to try it like this, and it was interesting kind of taking some time to just explore what was happening in this grid.
Nice. Okay, well, I think I have a scene set up so with the puzzle in, so I'm going to have a go at solving it. Let me just do a couple of quick copy and pastes here. And whoops. Okay, so I have the scene set up where hopefully I'm going to be able to transition over and have a go at solving Clover's puzzle while give Niverio and Rockrat a bit of a break. So let me see if that comes over okay. And if people on stream can confirm that they can hear me okay. And no. Okay, well, you can hear me, of course, yes. Now I actually have to find where I put the puzzle link. Can hear me and see the puzzle. I just now don't know where I put the puzzle. Where did I put the puzzle? Okay, is that gonna... No, I don't think I've got the right... Hang on 1 second. I just need to adjust the browser source because I can't seem to find the actual puzzle. Where are we at? Okay, so hopefully that should now be the puzzle. Okay, no, it does not seem to be. Can hear you and can't hear the puzzle. Well, you know, we'll try. Okay. For some reason, I think I made the mistake of putting the, okay, that should work, of putting the sudoku link as the browser source, which is great, except it doesn't then, it doesn't then actually react when I, okay, let's try that. Okay, hopefully this is going to do it. Like I can see the puzzle on the screen, but it's not actually... Okay. Sorry everyone, just bear with me 1 sec. Okay. Browser. Okay, so that should be... Oh, refresh the page. Yeah, that might do it. Oh, hang on, maybe I need to... Okay, maybe I needed to transition. Maybe that will do it now. No, okay. Oh, I think I know why. Maybe it's because I know why. Hang on 1 second. It's because I've got my face camera, and I might need to do this as OBS virtual camera, perhaps. Yes, Clover's puzzle is so powerful, it is glitching. Okay, well, I tell you what, let me see if I can just do it as a screen capture instead. Okay, well that is a little annoying. All right, well, just while I'm trying to figure this out, I'm going to go back to the three-way just so everyone can see what's going on. And I'm going to try and figure out this solving scene. So I can see Niverio has made a little more progress. Rockrat seems to be doing pretty good in his. Clover, do you tend to do like post, once you have a working puzzle, do you tend to do like post puzzle tinkering?
It depends a lot on what the puzzle's for. I mean, I kind of set for 3 different reasons. So I have a Patreon, patreon.com/SudokuClover, if you don't want to plug. And I set 8 puzzles a month plus plus like an extra large multi-grid Sudoku. And those, it kind of goes back and forth whether I tinker. It depends on whether it's intended to be an easier puzzle where I'm kind of comfortable with there being maybe unintended bypasses or alternative routes, or whether it's supposed to be something that's really supposed to showcase a particular solving path. With gas, I rarely tinker unless I solve it and I think it could be smoother, or unless it kind of comes back bad from testing. When I'm setting something just like more technical, more involved on my own, I will tinker a puzzle half to death happily.
Fair enough.
I'll put a lot of hours into it.
Yeah, it's I try to okay, I've got a window capture. Yeah, I often tend, personally myself, I often tend to be like, once it's kind of done, I'm done. But it also depends on the puzzle. Like if it's a puzzle that I find really hard to set and frustrating to set, then usually I'm like, get it the hell away from me when it's done. I think there's only been a couple of puzzles that I've really sort of gone back and messed around with. And those were ones where just some of the steps in them were like way beyond how I envisioned them myself when I was doing it. Okay, so I think I've actually finally got a scene working now. I did thanks to Glipperall suggesting I do a window capture. So I should be able to have a go at solving Clover's puzzle. So I'll switch over to that. And let's see, I'm going to add actually, see if I can add, just before I do that, let me just quickly go back. And so Clover, just a refresh on the rules. So the outside clues are the number of black crop key and white crop key.
In that order?
In that order, and 1, 2 can apply for both.
1-2 does apply for both.
Does apply
so
for
if
both.
if the only valid pair in a row or column was a 1-2 pair, it would be clued as 1/1.
Okay, awesome. Let's have a go. Okay. 4. We have ones. We have ones. So yeah. One. Okay, so we have 2 black dots here. We have 1 black dot here. We have 4 down here. We have no black dots here. Okay. We have 8. Yeah, I should have decided I wasn't going to test on stream, but you know, these guys have gone to all the trouble, so I think that would be a little unfair. Okay, we have 8 going down here, and we have 4. Somewhat restricted. 8. So that can't be 4 then, because there's no black dots there. Now 1 would be 1 2. Okay. Okay, we have 5 white Kropki there. That's quite a lot. 1 black here. Oh, whoops. Yes. I knew what I was doing, honestly. There's a 1 there. Okay. Hey, I never said I was going to be able to solve my own puzzle. This is why I made a plea for help for anyone who wants to solve. So actually 4 now in this column can't be here, can't be here. So 4 is here. There's no black dots, so 2 actually can't be here. Row 2, column 5 is naked if you understand the rules. Yeah, it can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3, can't be 4, 5. Oh yeah, that is a very good point. That is just a 6. Yes, maybe I should have specified in the stream rules that you didn't actually have to give me something to solve by the end, but you know. Certainly I don't think I will solve all 3, so we have a 3 here, we have a 3 here. Okay, 1 is over here, 9 is over here, 3 and 7 are over here. And so old school that the field digit is still black. So actually, if this were not a 3 or 7, then you couldn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can only have a 5, and it can't be a 5. So this is a 3 or a 7. Oh, we know there's a 9 here. Forgot that. There's a 7 up here. There's no white Kropki, so that can't be a 7. So that actually is a 1-7 pair. And there's 1 black Kropki and 2 row 2 column 8. See, I told you Balsita should be help me solve this, but so 1. This could be 2. Can't be 3. Can't be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could be 9. I mean, this could be a 2 or... Oh, no, it can't be a 2 because of the 0, 0. Okay, so that is a 9. And 2, yes. Oh, no, 2 could be there. That could be 3. That could be 7. Okay, I'm just going to pause this a sec because I don't want Niverio and Rockrat to feel neglected. Let's quickly transition back. And also to sit so you don't see me stumbling. Niverio, it looks like you have a finished loop here.
I do. I'm just making sure that the links and stuff are correct, and I will then go for a test.
Okay.
I think it turned out quite easier than I anticipated because of the end clues, but hey, we shall see.
Okay. Well, I certainly don't intend to be solving this one today as well, because the way it's going, I'm probably not even going to be able to finish Clover's unless Belsita keeps being ringer for me. Rockrat, how's it going? It looks like you've got the left and right stacks pretty well.
Pretty well. Yeah, I got all the candidates and stared at the grid for a while and was able to put this 16 cage in here, which sort of went all around and solved a bunch of stuff. And I'm not sure. I'm thinking about this arrow logic here to see if I can figure it out.
Okay.
It's a little tricky.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm trying to decide if it needs something else or if it might just solve, but I'm trying to solve it, so we'll see.
All right. Nice. Okay, great. Okay, well, before I get back to trying Roller Coaster for Tallcat, thank you, Niverio. Let's just transition over. Before I get back to trying spending maybe the last 10 to 20 minutes solving Clover's puzzle, I did actually just want to go back to what the original puzzle grid was, and then what the actual grid itself was. So just as a refresher, this was the finishing, I guess, the end puzzle grid that Clover, Niverio and Rockrat were all given. And this was a finished grid for one of my own puzzles. So there was something of a hint that James Sinclair gave about which puzzle it might have been with a Sudoku X, because there's no repeat on either diagonal. And so this is actually the puzzle that that I set that generated the finished grid. It was my puzzle 4 corners from way back in, I want to say, May 2021, so some 3 years ago. So yeah, not too bad. James, when you mentioned something about I was trying to do something with 4-cell arrows in the corner, I was like, is he trolling, or is he is he trolling and dropping a hint for what it is, or is he just genuinely trying to figure something out? But yeah, so this was 4 corners. I picked this one just because it was one that was somewhat well known at the time, and also just because of the diagonal X. I thought there was plenty of things to get a hold of with it. But it is very interesting seeing the different puzzles that have come from this. So again, Niverio with his roller coaster, Rockrat with his scattered arrows and killer cages, and Clover with the I don't even know, the outside crop key constraint. Oh, afraid not. That is pretty hilarious that you were tinkering with discoverable arrows and have 4 circles in the corners. That's really, really quite fun. But yeah, so that was what the grid was. Okay, let me go back to my solving scene and try and have a go with Clover's puzzle a bit more. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so the 0, 0, so 2 can't be here. 2 can't be here, we know. Oh, 7 can't be here because of the 8. This 9 doesn't do much. So this could be, that can't be 5. 5 in box 2 is limited. Yeah, it's hard for me to draw. Oh yes, because of the 0. So 5. Okay, yeah, this is a 3, 5, 9. So there's no 5 there. So this is actually a naked 2. And that is one of the consecutives there. 0, 1, that could be 7. No. 0 consecutive. So that's a naked 9, because that can't be 3 or 5. So that's a 3, that's a 5. Okay. There's 1 consecutive. This is 2, 4, 6, 8. That's not 8. This can't be 6, 8. Oh, it's also the black dot, and yes, that's a good point, Josh. Thank you. So now 6 can't be here, so 6 is over here. So that does mean 6 is not there. So 6 is over here, so that's the white dot over here. So then this can't be 8. So that is 8. Oh, and so there's only 1 white dot and it's a 6, so this now can't be 2, 4, 8. So that's a 2, 6 pair. That's a naked 4. Yeah, I think with this it's, whoops. This is just not a rule set that I have done at all before. So it's the sort of thing where it's going to row 3, column 3 can't be 4. Yes, that's correct. It's a sort of thing where it just takes my brain a little time to sort of kick in with it. And then I'm somewhat okay. Okay, so we have our 2 consecutive here and here. But I don't think that does anything more there. The 1, 5 pair is resolved. Oh yes, thank you. And there is 1 consecutive, 1 and 1. That could be a 2, but okay. 2, 3 must be separated, and yes, that's correct, so that has to be 7. Okay. Wow, I now understand why Zeta enjoys streaming with 33 other people watching you. Because you can just sit there and semi-flounder, and everyone just helps you out. It's great. I could get used to this. So 2 is actually restricted in this column because there's no black dots, so 2 can't go anywhere here, so that is a naked 2. So that's now the black dot and one of the white dots here. 5 in column 5, there's no consecutives, so that is actually down at the bottom here. Oh, I like how that's sort of, this is a 5. I do like how that's now percolating down the grid. So here we have, this can't be a 3, 6 pair, so that has to be 3 or 6. This is 3, 6, 8. That can't be 8, so that is in fact 8. So we have 2 consecutive, so one of them is a 3, so I think that must be a 6, 3. Yeah, this is, I mean, I shouldn't expect anything less from you, Clover. It's just very nice how it just goes and it's percolating downwards. It's very elegant. Okay, so we have one consecutive here. No black, so that can't be 2. So this is a 2-8 pair. This is a 4-6 pair. So we have one consecutive, which is this. So that must be the 2. That must be the 8. Column 5 needs 8 on a black dot. Yes, because we have 2 black dots and we have 1 here. And we have no oh, the 2 is already gone. Yes, so that must be an 8. Okay. What have we got? 4 and 1, so that's a 4. And 1. I guess my challenge is to try and finish this in the next 15 minutes. I'll put myself under the pressure there. 1 consecutive. Have we got any consecutive? Yeah, we got the 6. No black crop key dot, so that's a 6. That's a 2. We have a 6 down here. We have a 2, can't be there. Could be consecutive there. We've got an 8 down here, 1 and 4, 1 and 1. So we have our black dot here. So we can't have any more. Don't know if that helps just yet. 0 and 0. So that can't be a 6. Can't be a 7. What am I saying? It can't be a 7. Ooh, Josh getting snarky here. Yes, thank you for that. Obvious, I should have seen that, but hey. Meta knowledge. Yeah, come on. Nowhere there are no given rules here, so nowhere does it say that the Sudoku grid can't have repeats in. I'm just going to say, okay, so we have the 1, 1, so I think we know the 6 is restricted, the 9 can't be here, so the 9 must be up here. The 3, we can't have a 3 here. I just don't think, that can't be 7, so this is actually 6, 7, 9. And that can't be 6 or 7, that has to be 9. That can't be 6, that has to be 7, 6, that has to be 3. Rockrat's got it down to 2 solutions. Okay, let's quickly hop back over. Okay, we'll go to the 3 ways. So Rockrat, you're down to 2 solutions with what you had already?
Yeah, I'm just a slow solver.
Okay.
It's
Niverio?
some easy stuff that I was missing.
Oh, okay, well, so. Good. Niverio, how are you doing?
I'm testing in a different screen right now.
Oh, okay. You don't want to let
because I don't know. Like I don't know if it's going to fit to the style you already have. Because like you cannot test things on Stoke Maker. So
okay, fair enough.
It's in CTC.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I'm working my way through Clover's puzzle here. Hopefully, it should be done soon. I shall be back. Oh, you're fine. It's okay. I don't want to have any spoilers for testing myself. So. All right, back to Clover's puzzle. Okay, can finish box 6 easily. Yes, we have a 1, 3. Oh, fancy that, a given 3. So that can't be 3. I could probably actually finish column 5 if I think about it. This is 7, 9. Maybe not. Oh, 2 consecutive. No, 2 black crop key, which we have, and no consecutive. No, that doesn't help at the minute. This is a 2, 5, 7. We only have 1 consecutive, so that can't be 2. And we already have it up here. We have no black. Oh no, it's not 2, 5, 7. What am I talking about? It's 2, 7, 9. Good grief. That can't be an 8. Yeah, that would have been bad. There's an 8 here. 1 consecutive, no black here. I think we have to look across. So there's no 2 here, so 2 has to go here. 0, 0. So that can't be 9, so that means 9 has to be over here. 7 and 5 already out. Yeah, column 1 I keep like looking at and going, but there's so many clues. But I guess part of the thing is to say, well, there's so many clues that there's so much flexibility. 1, 1. Okay, so we have our black dot here. So that actually can't be a 3. So that's the 3. 2, 4, 1, 5, 7, 9. 2 in column 9 is done, by the way. Oh yeah, thank you. I was going to say, see, I'm not used to given digits, but that's not a given digit. That's actually one of my own. Whoops. 1, 2. So, okay, so that's one of the ones. Does that mean we have to have... oh, there's a 4 there as well. Oh, so 1, 2 consecutives. That's 1, 1. We need 1 more consecutive. 3, 2, 4. Okay. So we need 1 consecutive here. I'm just going to 1, 5, 7, 9. Just going to good lift this. That's not 9. 1, 5, 7. 4 in row 9. Yes, because we already have the black. Yeah, so that's the 4. Thank you, Glipperl. 3, 7, 9. So there's our other oh no, not quite. That's not a 9, that's a 3 or 7. I was going to say that's almost our consecutive. Actually, Malrog, I don't think that's a bad idea. That's quite interesting. I think that's something you should have set up as a stream for sure. We have 1. Okay, so the 4 isn't the 8, so there could be a 6 here, or there could be a... oh, the 2 can't be there, so... this has 1 black crop key, and it can't... so this has to have a 6 here, I believe. Row 9, column 1 can't be 3, correct. Yes, because if that's 3, this would be 7, and that would too many. That's correct. So that is the 3. So we need a consecutive still. And so it has to be this, which has to be 7. Thank you. Oh, have I made a mistake there? Did I make a mistake? That seemed correct to me, right? We have 1 black dot, 1 white. Oh no, we have 2 consecutives already. Yes, thank you. Yep, yep. 2, 1 and 4, 5 are consecutive, yes. So that actually was probably available quite a bit earlier. Whoops. Well, look, in the Tallcat universe, 4 and 5 are not consecutive, okay? All right, I have 5 minutes to finish this. Let's go. Okay, so we have a 4 is down in row there. We have 3, 8, 9. That can't be 3. This is 8 or 9. We need 2 black dots. We have 1 here, so we need another black dot. And it can't be 4, 8 because 8 is over here. So I think it has to be 3, 6. That has to be 8. So that has to be 8. This is 7 or 9. This is a 2. This is a 2. That's not an 8. So here we have 3, 9. So that's a 7 off the 9 there. Okay. Homing in on the end of it, I think 1, 5, 7. That's 5, 7. 1. That's not a 2. We have 1, 6, 9 here. That's not a 1. 0, 0. So that can't be a 9. Okay. Yeah, I think this is just now my... we have 1 and 1, so we have the black dot. Do we have a consecutive here? Well, that can't be 9. Those can't be 9. So that's the 9. We still need a consecutive. That can't be 5, because that would be 7. That can't be 7, because... Oh no, that could be 7. Okay, my goal is just to wrap up this this solve, and then we can wrap up the stream. There are no black dots here, and there are 3 consecutive. And there are 4 consecutive, so we have 1 black dot. We haven't got a black dot here, have we? So that's not a 6. There we go. 5, 7. That was what I was missing. 1, 6, 9, 1, 5, 7. Whoops. Here we have 2, 6. Okay, so we're fully penciled. Oh no, not quite. 3, 9, 2, 3, 6, 2, 5, 6. What am I missing here? There's a 9, 7, 9. Oh, 7, 5, 7, 1. Whew! Done. Okay. Despite my... let me flip back to the three-way here. Despite my inelegant setting, that was very enjoyable, Clover. Really nice how it started at the top and then began to percolate downwards. That was great. But it is approaching the 2-hour mark for the stream, so I think we are gonna wrap it up there. So I would like to. Oh, and Rockrat, it looks like you have a completed grid. You were able to.
Yeah, it's good. I just need a name for it, really.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, maybe something like X marks a spot, because you have that X right in the middle. Melrog, great minds think alike. It's because we share the same birthday, obviously. But yeah, if Niverio, if you and Rockrat want to drop links to your puzzles in the group chat in the Discord, I would be happy to have a look at them off stream.
All right, that sounds good.
But yeah, I would like to thank everyone who's come to watch, who's come along for the stream, but also want to thank Clover, Niverio, and rockratzero for agreeing to take part in this somewhat wacky exercise. It's been really interesting to watch the three of you sort of approach these and how they all how the puzzles all took shape. Really neat. I hope you all had fun.
I did.
Yeah, it was fun. It was challenging.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And also just a special thanks to Glipperal, if he's still in the chat, for just giving me some technical guidance on the way. Also to an extra special thanks to Clover also for the streaming guide that she wrote that helped kind of verse me in the OBS and the streaming and such. But yeah, with that, thanks all for watching, and hope you all have a good rest of the day.